Episode 133, Anime Time, Ridley's Retrocast. Tori, your pick today.
Me. Yes, my
Fucking
pick today.
loved it.
Same. I mean, I loved it the first time. The only thing I was scared of was, like, does it hold up as well as I think it does? And,
I was asking myself the same thing. So we're doing Baccano today. I think it, like, just became allowed to cover on the podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, summer 2007. So yeah, pretty much just.
And let's see, I started this, so we had a quick turnaround between podcasts to get right back on track. And so on Sunday afternoon, I was like, okay, I'm going to do some housework, whatever. Threw in the DVD of Baccano, because of course I have to have this one physically. And before I knew it, I already watched like 7 episodes. And I go, well, fuck, I might as well, like, finish the whole thing. I watched all 13, or 12? 12. How many?
13.
It was 13, and then
13.
13. So I watched all 13 in a day, and then I finished the next day, the OVA. So we're covering the whole thing, and I gotta say, this sucker holds up so well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a pleasant surprise when you know you liked something in the past, you go watch it again, and you're like, fuck yeah, it's still good, baby. Good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was my first time rewatching Baccano since I originally watched it many years ago.
Yeah, no, same. Like, I watched this back in, like, 2013 or 2014, I think.
Uh-huh.
Like, literally just after I got into anime. I've thought about rewatching this so many times, but I just never did. So now I was, like, sitting here, it's like, you know, we've been watching a lot of shit lately. We need to watch something
don't
good.
say.
And then I was like, you know, and then I'm looking and it's just like, Baccano, that's a good show. I was like, but it's probably not available. It's like summer 2007. It's available. We're doing Baccano. Fuck everything. We're doing Baccano.
Hickey, what were your thoughts?
Same. I've watched this show like 2015. No, 2015. I was already in college. 2010.
Yeah, it has to be at least 10 years for me as well.
So yeah, it's been a long time. I had the same thoughts I had when I started this show back in the day. Like, man, this is extremely confusing, and I really don't like how confusing the show is until I set my eyes on Isaac and media. It's like, you know what? I'll just try my best to understand what is going on. Because there's so many information, and the information is non-linear. So it's really hard, really fucking hard to understand. But after episode like 4, 5, then you kind of grab the grasp of what is going on, and then it's all enjoyment.
There is certainly an aspect of action patience, is how I describe it. You're kind of enjoying the brief ride for a minute, and then everything starts to click together, and you go, "Oh, okay, that's what's happening. Awesome."
Yeah, I mean, it's like just like I've talked to Hickey about this a couple of times, but it's just that first episode, right? Like, I completely forgotten about that first episode because, like, I'm going to go on the limb and say I don't think most people will enjoy episode 1 for the simple fact that those 2 characters that you are first introduced to, they sound like they're on fucking crack from what they're talking about. Like, it makes no sense. They're talking about, like, what story, what's the events, what are the canonical events, like, what are the events that transpired? Are you sure you have the whole story? Like, who are the main characters? Or why have you decided that these are the events that are to focus on? Why is this the main character? You're sitting there listening to them, and it's like, what the fuck are they talking about? What is this?
Yeah, I didn't much like that first episode.
Yeah, and then you get into it and you start to understand. It's like, okay, I see, I understand what they're just hinting at the fact that, like, this story takes many different shapes depending on which character it is you're focusing on.
Right. Yeah. The aspect of the, I guess, the teacher and the girl just talking about things. It felt more like a. Yeah, it felt like they were reciting a piece of Hamlet, but presented it in the way of, like, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's so fucking weird. It's
very bizarre. Very unnecessary as well.
Kind of, but it's, I don't know, I think it's just to kind of get you into that mindset, like, understands, like, this is not gonna be the sort of story you are used to. This is not a like, hey, we're all boarding the Flying Pussyfoot. Yes, that's the name.
Great name.
We're all boarding the Flying Pussyfoot, and we're now fighting to the death. That's not the point. Not even a little bit. It's one of the things that happens. Kind of funny because it's all technically a little bit of a coincidence. Just a whole bunch of people showing up for different purposes, but it's still of that storming scene as well. The storming the train. I was like, everyone hands up, everybody freeze, get on the ground. It's like, and they're like, which one do we do?
Marie, what do we do?
Julian, just a question.
What's up?
For you. Have you watched the Baccano subbed or dubbed?
Both.
Okay.
Both? Okay.
So, originally I watched
alone.
it. Originally I watched it sub. This time I watched it dubbed because the whole intention was just refresh the memory and like do housework. And it's like less housework was done once I started diving into it.
Yeah. No, I watched it dubbed the first time, and I was planning on technically watching it as sub when I watched it last, or was it? Now I was going to rewatch it, but then I decided to just watch it in dub again, just to kind of get that same experience that I had, and it's still fun. Like the dub
all the
Baccano
wacky, all the wacky old style New Yorker accents. Yeah, I thought it worked well.
It works. I think the thing that I have with the dub though is that like the main characters are pretty well voiced. The less important characters sound like trash.
Well,
like holy fuck, they are not very very well done.
Yeah,
and then it's like the same thing with like the fake French accents as well. I thought that was kind of funny with like Shane LaFerre and Huey LaFerre and whatnot. It's just like that's very forced right there. They are really trying for that.
I don't know. I thought it worked well enough with what they were trying to do. It's not. I mean, it's just the New Yorker accent. The I guess there were slightly British ones, and the British ones sounded like they had cotton in their mouths, which was probably exactly true because that's a trick.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a fine dub. Definitely, it's not the worst dub out there.
No, we
still,
have certainly watched worse dubs.
Yep.
It's like you are clearly like in your basement alone. No one's next to you. You just sent in this audio and you called it a day.
Yeah, man. That's all they want. It's
all good.
All they need.
So, pivoting from the subject at hand here, I have to talk about this fucking Dortmund game that I just watched upon this recording. Dortmund against Leipzig. Both teams went in playing kind of trash the last like 4 or 5 weeks. And they're in Leipzig. Dortmund, the commentators are even like talking about Dortmund's lack of attack, not really getting balls, crossing balls into Modeste. They're really trying to play the exact same way they did with Haaland. And they're even making jokes about, well, not many attacks this game. Yeah, I agree. It's almost like they're missing a very big Norwegian up front or something.
No way.
Yeah, it's like, you don't say. This big, tall, white dude used to be there, scoring goals. And now, this team is absolutely lost. I mentioned this last time. They're even more lost in this game. This was an atrocity of a performance. Tori, you would lose your mind watching this team because even in the midfield, they would touch the ball maybe once or twice and then immediately lose it. And it wasn't just giving away the ball. They did do that, don't get me wrong. They lost that ball a lot. And it was more like, okay, touch it, we're going to pass it outside, and that was the worst pass you could have possibly done. It was off, it was way in front, it was out of bounds. They could do nothing right in this game. Even when they got set pieces. So, horrible game. Timo Werner, great game. He was outrunning the entire team.
I mean, that's what he does, though.
Yeah.
The only thing he does. I mean, I watched part of it. It's not great. Definitely not great to look at. I mean, it's the thing is, right, because I think one of the things as well for Dortmund now is just because Dortmund has, for at least as long as I can remember, many years now, they've always sort of been known as a team that they score a lot, but they concede a lot. Their defense has never been that great.
Oh, now they're just exposed.
now they don't score anymore. But they keep conceding,
Yeah,
which is not what you want.
That's staying behind. The third goal Leipzig scored was Royce on the line, and just kind of bounces. I forget who started that Leipzig last attack. I think it was Timo Werner, actually. And Royce just kind of kicks it. He walks off. He's like, that went out of bounds, throws his hand in the air, continues walking. And Timo Werner's like, fuck. Ball still in, and he just runs right by him, runs past two more guys, and it's just a weak-ass counterattack. It's like 2 on nobody, and Timo Werner just goes, okay, cross it, open goal, no problem, just child's play stuff. And then Werner gets taken out, and he's all mad he didn't score.
I mean, that's been his problem since he arrived at Chelsea. It's like, even at Chelsea, it's like, he did a lot of good. Like, I still remember his debut, and he runs like a motherfucker, which is why they started playing him on the wing a lot. Like, he's a ball of energy, but holy fuck does he not need a lot of chances to score. Like, he misses, easily, 5-6 chances a game. Like, it's kind of bad. He needs to work on his finishing.
Yeah, the finishing's not there. That to the extent that you want him to have. Who was that super fast dude on Arsenal for a decade who played the wing? I think it was Welsh.
Shit, that's a lot of Welsh.
It's not Bale because he's Tottenham, but
I was about to say it's the only one I can think of is Dan James, but that was on United.
No, not James. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. It'll probably come to me after the cast, but that's who Werner reminds me of. Just this stupid spitfire of a guy that does everything else great except what you want him to, which is finish in front of net.
Yeah, no, it is. That is just his thing. But yeah, no, like I said, I watched part of that game as well. It's just I remember, right, because one of the things that I noticed a lot when I watched the few games I watched Dortmund is I remember even watching, I watched it a lot more when Holland played because, duh. And it's just I remember watching what's his name? Brandt play?
Yeah, he's still playing.
Lot. Yeah, I know. And I remember looking at that guy and I was just I mean, at times I understand why they signed him because sometimes he looks like a good player, but holy shit, what is this guy's deal with one, not crossing, and two, never playing the balls at the right time and stuff like that. He is so he loves being on the ball, but he often just walks with the ball and loses it and doesn't play the balls at the right time.
He waits
until they're
game.
offside. I know. I keep seeing this, and I'm just yeah, that's the guy I remember. All right, it's
he's very frustrating.
Yeah, it's when he is not playing well, when he is bad, he will literally just never give up the ball.
That's been another issue with Dortmund when they, not in this game, but in the last few games, when they finally do get it in the box area or out on the side, you got players like Brandt who they no one wants to take the initiative to actually do something with the ball. I saw it once in this entire last game, and that was with Reyna when he came on as a sub, where he actually tried to get it past a couple guys and then take a good shot or at least throw it in the box to someone like Modeste, who they fucking signed, and he's just irrelevant on this team right now. He's a ghost out there. And that was the one chance. Meanwhile, it's the whole team too. And Brandt's probably the worst example of it, where, like you said, he's so indecisive with the ball. He walks with it, and then it just inevitably gets lost. And it's okay, you didn't even create a chance. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's he does that thing as well that it's really fucking annoying. I remember in Chelsea, Barkley for Chelsea did this a lot as well. He walks with the ball. He likes coming in from the side, walking across the field, I guess, just walking inside, and then somebody inevitably shows up and fucking just takes the ball from him. And then no tracking back, no trying to win the ball back or anything. He just kind of stops and just fucking throws his arms out. Yeah. It's oh, you guys aren't doing anything. And it's you aren't doing anything.
Right.
It's dude. It's I agree. There's not a whole lot of shit happening in front of you, but if there's nothing that happens, play the ball backwards and then start making more movements. Try to do something. Try to make something happen. Everybody has to move, yes, but it's like you're not even doing anything. You are literally just losing possession, and then every time you lose possession, you just throw your arms out and be like, "Okay, I tried. Whatever. My job here's done."
Like I've enjoyed what I've seen out of guys like Schlotterbeck and Wolf out there. They're doing, but they can't do this alone. Essentially, is what I'm seeing here from gameplay. They're having to kind of make up for the lack of presence that guys like Brandt on, especially on like the back midfield and going into defense. These two guys are just running this team solo, it seems, and keeping them from conceding 4 goals instead of 2 or 3. The midfield's lost now in this game. There was multiple times where it looks like Dortmund's gonna off a set piece maybe, or pass it inside to actually have something in front of the box, and then it's just one pass, and all of a sudden they're on the defense passing it all the way back to the goalkeeper. Like there was one play in this game where they got a free kick. And instead of trying to cross it into the box, they go, okay, we'll just pass it to the right. And then they do one inside. The guy comes in the middle. And by 3 passes, it's already back at the goalkeeper. I go, you just wasted every sort of attack you have. The team is just impossibly bad right now for a team that's quality over the last number of years. Like, you just expect way better. And somehow this team, was at the top of the table. Not anymore. So I'm watching teams like Freiburg and Union Berlin, whom, like, nobody coming into the season figured they'd be a top flight Bundesliga team. Like, maybe 4th, 5th, 6th. And instead, we got teams like Leverkusen and Dortmund who don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. They've collapsed offensively. Leverkusen, I believe, lost again. Let me double check this, because that's a team that's just in the mud. Let's see here. No, they tied Hertha Berlin, one of the worst teams in the league. So yeah, Leverkusen lost. But there's some very funny happiness I can at least take pride in, and that is Bayern 3 weeks in a row have not won a game in the Bundesliga. They've not lost, but they have not won.
Yeah, this is a weird season. Like, same thing. Like, fucking Premier League is the same thing. It's like, Liverpool is struggling. They just got absolutely humiliated by Napoli in the Champions League.
I saw that.
Yeah. Chelsea is obviously
they lost
struggling
like 4-1,
as well.
Right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They got ran. They got outran, which is rare. Like, but yeah, no. Chelsea is completely lost. They obviously just sacked Tuchel as well, bringing Graham Potter, which I'm happy about. I'm not happy about Tuchel getting fired, but since it happened,
kind of clearly wasn't working, eh?
I mean, yeah, like, I think the problem with Tuchel, for the most part, is the fact, like, he's definitely a good manager and he's got good systems, but his offensive football is non-existent, which we especially saw in the Champions League against Dynamo Kiev. Sorry, it was Dynamo Zagreb, right? Yeah, Zagreb.
Mixing up your Ukraine and Russian teams.
Yeah, dude, listen, I don't watch those teams ever.
No, so, you're not into that.
I know, shocking. I know, but yeah, no, like, it's just like they play against Zagreb, and all credit to them. They played great, played the defensive and covered their tracks, and really just ran at Chelsea and countered as soon as they could, and were really comfortable on the ball. But Chelsea's attacking display in this game, and for basically every game since that Tottenham game, has been dreadful. It's the same thing as with Dortmund. It's like nothing is happening. Nobody in front of the ball is moving, like, at all. Everybody's just standing next to whoever's keeping them in check. They're just standing there watching. And everybody is walking around. The ball is moving slowly. There's nothing happening. Reece James is trying to make runs on the outside, but he gets ignored like every single time. But even if he does get played, it doesn't really matter because there's never anyone in the fucking box. Ever. It's just like, it's just one of those problems. Like, what is going on, right? And I know that Tuchel is the sort of guy who's like, he doesn't really focus on offense that much. He focuses on team structure. and he kind of just lets offense sort of happen from there. But it's quite clearly that this team needs some offensive guidance, because they have completely lost it. Everyone is just they don't know how to create chances. And when you go 3 or 4 games in a row, I don't remember what it is, without producing a single shot in the first half in 3 or 4 games. Now, I'm not talking about own goal. I'm talking about shots, chances, anything in 3 or 4 games in a row. That is not good enough. You cannot come up against some of the bottom teams in the league and fucking Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League. No offense to Dinamo Zagreb, but and not even produce a shot.
Right.
Never mind a chance.
Yeah, Dortmund in this entire game, I don't believe had a single shot on goal the entire game, which I don't think that's ever happened before. Not one was on target.
Yeah, nah, it's shocking right now. But yeah, no, there's a lot of teams that are struggling, and meanwhile, Holland has gone off the city, and he is doing what he always does: scores goals.
Oh, you mean he's not washed up in that development league of the Bundesliga? No?
Apparently not. No, he is, what is this now? 10 goals or whatever in 6 games or something?
Yeah.
Nobody has done that before. He's the first player to do that.
Interesting.
Scored 2 goals again in the Champions League. He has scored over 20 goals in the Champions League. Cristiano Ronaldo, for comparison, at the same age, had scored, none. So, what he's doing is it's almost expected at this point, but it's just stupid. Everybody keeps complaining, but he doesn't do it.
Absolutely laughed when I saw people, because he went, the first 2 games without scoring, they're like, waste.
Oh, not even. He didn't score the fucking Community Shield, the preseason tournament that's against the league winner and the FA Cup winner.
Yeah, and they're overrated, washed, he's not ready. This is the Premier League. Go back to the Bundesliga. So much, and then, awfully quiet now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just you don't understand. It's people still complain about him, and they've always done. They always will, and I get it. It's he doesn't do that much. He's not involved in play. He doesn't take on people. He doesn't dribble. He doesn't do any of that. It's yeah, because this dude literally does one thing, and he does it better than almost anyone. He is really good at getting free inside of the box and putting the ball in the back of the net. A lot of his goals are tap-ins, or being the first to react to a rebound, or just straight up being completely unmarked inside of the 18-yard box. He does that all the time. That is what he does well. He is so good at running. He's so good at, he's fucking big and he's quick as well, so no wonder. But it's just, he's so good at running. He's so good at losing his marker, and he's so good at staying onside.
I'm trying to think. He really reminds me of another striker that I heard that complaint a lot. It's he doesn't do all of these things. When he scores 4 times a game, what are we complaining about here?
It's just Manchester City has had players playing in the quote unquote striker position, the false 9 position, a lot, that are very much involved in play. They just don't score that much, which is why Gundogan has been their top goal scorer for a while, right? He's not a striker.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a good player. But it's just now they've decided to do something else. Now they have a player up top whose job is literally to just score goals.
I'm thinking Ibrahimovic in his prime and Serie A and all those years, but Ibrahimovic, he's fucking great fucking dribbler. He just does everything. It's not quite the same. That's the only name that's coming into my mind right now.
He often gets compared to Ibrahimovic, but yeah, Ibrahimovic was he was obviously a good goal scorer, but primarily he was a technical player, which is kind of funny, right? Because it's he is big, Messi. It's look at him just dribbling past people and they're falling over. It's that wasn't really Zlatan. Zlatan's thing was mostly just he's really good. He's got really good technique, really good ball control, and really good just control of his body in general. But at the same time, he can literally just hold you off and then dribble around you. It's
right.
It's not that he's faster than you, it's just that you can't fucking move because he's got you pinned.
Oh, man. But I do want to mention one last time. Did you guys watch the Bayern Inter game earlier in the week?
No.
So,
nope.
I mentioned that Bayern hasn't won a game in the Bundesliga. It was 2 weeks in a row at that point. Now it's 3. But they went into that game against Inter, like, clearly just pissed off that they can't seem to win. I think it was like 21 shots, and like 18 of them were on target, and 2 of them went in. So despite all their chances, they're only putting in a couple goals, and that's what's now killing them. The good thing is they didn't concede in that game, but they were clearly just playing pissed off, and the yellow cards are coming with Bayern, and it's kind of wacky to see a team that clearly has just like their level of play is just simply above the Bundesliga. Like, this is why they've won for like 10 years in a row.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say, like, their biggest problem now is just the fact that, you know, they've lost their consistent goal scorer, right? And it's like, they brought in what? They brought in Mane, which is good, but Mane's been on a declining goal-scoring form for Liverpool for a while. He recently got better. So it's just like, I don't know, looking at Bayern's attack, I'm mostly just like, they have a lot of pace up there, but like I'm not seeing a Lewandowski type who just like, yep, and there you go. We just scored 5 goals in the game again.
Well, the thing is, they were doing that early in the season, but they were also playing like Bochum. You know,
exactly. That's kind of my thing. It's like,
but now but still, why this game against Stuttgart today, 2-2. I'm like looking at kind of the stat lines, and I watched a little highlights before recording, and I'm like, this is kind of the same games I've seen again the last like few times where, yeah, they're scoring, yeah, they're throwing a lot of shots on target, but the goalkeepers don't seem to be obviously Jan Sommer, he was a mastermind a few weeks ago, but like still, like a lot of those goals were just kind of right into his chest, or they were well over the goal kind of situation. It's interesting to start trying to. This is 3 weeks in a row now where Bayern has failed to win, and they've conceded goals on top of it. Maybe we're reaching some sort of a analysis where we can actually start looking at Bayern a little bit differently. But you know, I say this, and maybe next week they fucking pound a team 4-0. You know,
probably. Like I don't think so. I just think it's that thing that happens when it's like. Again, right? You just lost somebody who's like, it's not even like they're lacking a goal scorer necessarily. I guess it's just they're lacking that dude who just needs one chance, right? Like Mane is a good player who can bring them goals, but he will probably usually need a couple of chances to score, right? He's not that efficient. And then same thing as like Sane is like, man, I don't understand Sane whatsoever. That guy's a weird guy. He is very good at times, and then other times he cannot be. You couldn't pay him to run. And yeah, it's just like same thing. Gnabry is really good, but he also falls out sometimes. It's just Thomas Muller's still there. And it's like
that dude's been there.
It's just one of those things
for like 20
he's been
years.
There for a long time. Yeah. And it's just, you see a lot of that, and it's just like,
you know what?
Well, what happened? Did they have a lot of chances? Yes. Did they need a lot of chances to score? Yes.
It's funny. If
Lewandowski was there, would have scored a lot more? Yes.
that game against Berlin, Union, Muller didn't start, but then he came on in the second half, and I don't want to say pace of attack changed. It was more like his presence and the way he composes himself near the box and in it is so much different than everyone on their team. And as soon as you see him kind of in control of the ball and trying to get it to guys like Zane or Mane, like, that's why he's still there.
Yeah.
He's still really good, even though he can't run like he used to. Anyways, football talk.
Yeah,
a football podcast with some anime, I guess.
Sometimes anime, sometimes football.
Hickey, how come you're just kind of sitting there enjoying the show? What's going on?
I don't care about any league in Europe.
Listen to this guy. Doesn't even know the best football played at the moment.
Sorry.
That made a puke.
Sorry, you're talking about your like amateur league?
Yep.
Beautiful
right.
called professional. Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
absolutely, dude. That shit's so good.
God damn, man! I wish I could just inject coke in my rectum just like you, man. But
Coke
I can't.
in your rectum?
Copium.
Oh, okay.
It's a different kind of drug.
Yeah.
It's a drug straight out of Twitch.
Twitch. I kind of like the coke in the rectum thing that I heard.
Coke in the rectum. I mean, that would create a whole different reaction, but yeah.
I mean, you can do it.
It wasn't about whether or not I could.
The
question is if I should.
Wasn't.
Yeah, you think so?
I do, honestly. I think there's a guy who did that here.
That probably. That sounds like something, but we are not a drug podcast.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyways. We haven't been going long enough for that.
It's a matter of time. I do want to mention before we get into Baccano that back at the JoJo's Part 5 with Jolene and them, the prison stuff, where I stopped, I think it was episode 5. Like, I stopped after watching that episode and going to 6. I felt like I missed an entire episode and setup of the story continuing from there. Very strange. A lot of things are disjointed, it feels, but still very entertaining. About 4 more episodes in. You guys watching JoJo or seen that part yet?
No, I'm not watching it until it's done.
I'm probably skipping part 5.
Okay. All right.
I'm just not interested in part 5. I've read the manga. I don't like part 5.
Don't like part
6,
5.
right?
Okay.
Part 6.
Oh, is it 6? It
Part
is 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
a lot of parts.
I simply I don't know. It's enough for me to go through the manga. I don't think it's enough for me to go through the anime, especially knowing that part 7 is authored and part 7 is the best. So I'm just waiting part 7 instead of watching part 6.
I'm just waiting for them to fucking announce after the end of part 6 that they're done with JoJo.
They'll never do it again. Yeah.
That'd be so, because everybody's just been like, ever since fucking part 1, it's just like, I can't wait for part 6. Oh my god, so good. Part 6, dude. Oh, so no, not part 6, part 7. Just like, it's so good, and I'm just like, that would be so funny if they finally get to the thing people have been waiting for forever, and then they're like, now we're not doing it. Sorry, it's just not making money.
It's not making enough money for us to do this anymore. Yeah, that would be sad. That'd be super sad. Okay. Drop being played. Baccano time. All right, guys. Baccano. Tori, take us through the synopsis. Who made this shit? When it came out? Blah blah blah.
Okay, I'll just use the Mal stuff then. So yeah, Baccano came out in 2007, summer 2007. It's 13 episodes plus a sequel, like special 3 episode. Came out in February 27th and May 28th of 2008, which technically doesn't qualify, but fuck your rules.
Dude, as long as the show started 15 years ago.
I mean, it's kind of important to get that as well, because like it kind of clears up a little bit about the people on the boat of back in 1711.
Sure.
So it's like it technically sort of wraps stuff up a little bit more about that, kind of giving you a little bit more clarity on like who was who again. So yeah, it was done by Brainspace, actually, who has done a whole bunch of shit like Golden Kamuy season 4.
Oh boy.
And
God, they're on season 4 of that show?
Yeah. Doesn't look like they did any of the previous ones. So yeah. Yeah, they did Snafu, the original one. So like they have some good shows in their repertoire. But like Baccano. And yeah. And it was directed by Takahiro Omori. Who's of course directed other things like Durarara and whatnot, and yeah, it was written by. Hold on, I'm just clicking my way around here. It was written by Ryogo Narita and art by Katsumi Enami. And Ryogo Narita is also the guy who did the light novel for Baccano, but also the light novel for Durarara.
Oh, okay. So this, okay, I get it. Yeah, I totally see it with the delivery and the rambunctiousness and the constant, wacky, I guess, character interactions and how they, like, I guess their overreactive action is a way I would describe this.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Complete
like-
disregard towards social norms.
Right.
Absolutely. Hey, man, listen.
It's really weird supernatural stuff being thrown around in a context that doesn't fit them.
Right.
I mean, I just love this, especially like in Duran's case. I just love that they like this was like, oh yeah, we have the fucking headless rider, and then over here we have this bartender dude who, don't mind him, he's just kind of strong, like, you know, picking up a light post out of the ground and swinging it around strong. Any special reason? Don't worry about it. Everybody
Man, that's
knows him.
crazy, right? What a guy.
What a guy. Everyone knows him. Most people like him. He's even though he's kind of mean, but you know, everybody's he's not that bad. Anyways, this is not this is Baccano. And the synopsis, according to Mal, says, during the early 1930s in Chicago, the transcontinental train Flying Pussyfoot is starting its legendary journey that will leave a trail of blood all over the country. At the same time, in New York, the ambitious scientist Sillard and his unwilling aide Ennis are looking for missing bottles of the immortality elixir. What's the immortality elixir, you might ask? We'll get back to that. In addition, a war between the mafia groups is getting worse. And then, of course, we're just going straight. Okay. On board the Advena Avis in 1711, yes, that's right, 1711, you just right, we just went from 1930 to 1711, alchemists are about to learn the price of immortality. Based on the award-winning light novels of the same name, Baccano follows several events that initially seem unrelated, both in time and place, but are part of a much bigger story, one of alchemy, survival, and immortality. Merging these events together are the kind-hearted would-be thieves Isaac and Miria, connecting various people, all of them with their own hidden ambitions and agendas, and creating lifelong bonds and consequences for everyone involved.
There's a mistake on the synopsis.
Is there?
One.
In 1930, the Slard is doing the thing with the missing bottles of immortality elixir. The Flying Pussyfoot is 1931.
Yeah, but it's just the 1930s, not specifically just 1930. It is because it's 1930, 1931, and 1932, right?
Yeah, the biggest problem is like because this series is non-linear and it says at the same time. That's my problem.
I know.
It's not the 1930s. It's the at the same time.
Yeah. I know. That's just that's fine. I have the same problem where it's like it goes for like it's trying to like separate that, and then these are like different events and then going on at the same time, and then it's like. Suddenly we just throw a fucking wrench in that and just be like, oh yeah, by the way, in 1711, it's like, wait, whoa. 1711? That's kind of a long time before.
Some immigrants did a little bit of trolling.
Some immigrants sacrificed their souls to the devil.
Gone wrong.
Hell yeah. Gone right, if you ask me. And
I think we should immediately start with what happened in 1711.
They start aiding each other. So, do you want to go linear? Want to follow the story linear?
I think so. I think that'd be fun to try to do and put the events together in order. Because so much of the show is everything's happening on the Flying Pussyfoot in said year, while in New York at the same time, just before the Flying Pussyfoot happens, is the immortality elixir being made, stolen, trying to be found. Couple mafia groups get it. Then we get on the train, and it's putting all the pieces together over who the people are, how they came to be, and why the events are connected. So, if we put it together linearly, which I think is going to be fun, everything will then come together on how, to the point where the train actually arrives or falls off the tracks, whichever way you want to put it. And I'll say this right now. I didn't really like the OVA that much.
Really?
Really.
Graham is great. We're talked about.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, I don't know. I don't see that much of a difference. It's more of the same, more silliness.
It feels more Durarara like than
Kind of, a little bit.
anything.
A little bit.
It feels like almost Bungo Stray Dogs at times.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like Baccano anymore. It felt like something else. It was very disjointed, especially with the
My dude catching a bullet with a range.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But anyways, so let's start with
Smash the ground
1711.
after.
Like, what the fuck happened at the very start of the time frame the show happened?
Yeah.
Who wants to do that? Hickey?
Sure. So in 1711.
Yep.
There is a group of alchemists, I don't think it's explicit. They're fleeing Europe, but they are definitely coming from Europe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So they're inside
accents.
of they're inside of a ship called Advena Avis, which is Latin, but I don't recognize the Latin words anyway. And they're just there. They're trying to go to America to start anew, just like a bunch of immigrants at the time.
Right.
And they decide it is a good time. A group of them decide it's a good time.
So Advena Avis means foreigner, and then Avis means like omen. So that kind of makes sense to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Roughly
So,
translates
a group of
together
them-
as sign of strangers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So they decide, for some reason, that it's the perfect time to try and do something alchemists should never do, which is try to summon demons.
You shouldn't do that.
Because they don't really believe in demons, but hey, they decide anyway. If we're gonna grab eternal life, the elixir of immortality, might as well just summon a demon. So they do that, and a demon appears. So
Sorta.
the demon just goes, "Okay, I'm just gonna make you all immortal. I won't take anything from you." But yeah, if any of you think you're done, you want to die, just go to the closest immortal. They will know you are immortal as well. They will feel you, and you ask them.
Yeah, because they can't lie to each other. They are forced to speak the truth with each other.
Yep. So you just ask them to put the right hand on top of your head and consume you. So the person who consumes will get every experience the other person had, and the consumed will cease to exist, and they can also transfer knowledge using that hand. The person who was responsible for summoning the demon and has the know-how to produce the cure all medicine, as they call,
Right.
or elixir of immortality, it's Alvaro Maiza, which is one of the main characters in the 1930s. He's part of one of the mafioso families in Chicago, I think.
Yeah.
It's not New York.
Yeah.
It was almost like
Pretty
there was
sure it was
one
Chicago.
mafia group in Chicago and another one in New York.
I think it's true. The two fighting. There's definitely three.
Well, there's three in total because I think one of them hired the Jacuzzi Splot group as like mercenaries, and they got on the train.
Three,
Is that
three
right?
major groups or four?
I
Because
think it was three.
the Russo family is not. It's just there for the train. It's not fighting.
Right. So you had. Oh,
You have
okay.
the
Yeah, that would be four.
Ginoardo,
That would be four.
the
Yeah.
Runora. There's another family. Anyway, going back to 1711. So while they are still traveling, they are all immortals. One of the guys, an old man called Slard Quatus, he thinks everyone should become immortal. He thinks he should make a bunch of elixir of immortality and sell them to the public and be rich, and every single human would become immortal, and he will become just king of humanity. I don't know. But Miser, the guy who can do the elixir, opposes him and says there should not be any immortals because we did some fucked up shit in this boat. We kind of fucked up some kids as well with the elixir of immortality because they cannot grow up. So no one should become immortal. We should just stay, in this group. Don't tell anyone. So Sillard grabs a few of his followers and starts devouring people inside of the ship, hoping they would devour Misa and get the recipe for the elixir of immortality. Things go wrong. Miser falls off the boat with his body in pieces. Actually survive because he's immortal. And one of the other characters, which will only appear at the end of the series, which is Elmore, he also falls from the ship and makes a deal with the devil that he wants the devil to look after Misa and kind of protect him. So that's the story of 1711. Some of the immortals, they stay together in New York, such as Meiser and one of the woman who the fiance from Meiser's brother, which got devoured, also stays with him and in New York, I believe.
Yeah, they just kind of hang out together.
Her name is Sylvie Lumiere. She stays with him, and a lot of them scattered around the land. So skip to 1930s, you have the news for 1932, you got the news that a lot of them are just got devoured. And there's only like a handful left, not counting the new immortals, the old 1711 immortals.
Okay. So that's kind of what happens there. So we have the various mafia groups. We have Zillard's group, the guy who wants to spread the elixir. You missed the part where Misa's brother was given half the information to make the elixir. That's and Zillard consumes that guy, gets half the info, and that's how he's able to task another random scientist guy to make the elixir, and he does succeed in doing it.
Unfinished product. Yeah, the unfinished product, the one that gives you immortality but does not stop aging.
Right, which definitely sucks. So he has that half-finished one, but he does make a functional, working one, which is the one that gets stolen. And there's only a couple bottles of that. More on that later, because that's the funny one. How that ends up happening. So cut to, I guess we can cut to the train now.
No, it's 1930. How they become immortals.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you're right. Because so the old man, the building's burning down. He runs out. A group from one mafia, steal. They get beaten up. The box of they think it's like a box of wine, basically.
Yeah, it's the first introduction to Dallas Genoardo.
Right. So they get the Genoard group. We get the
Fido also comes in.
Go on, Tori.
Fido also comes in and steps in there. The guy who also kind of gets sort of tagged on as one of the main characters, being kind of important for the whole mafioso fight that goes down, and the
when Gustav Saint Germain and Karu are discussing where the story begins. It is the introduction for and on episode 1 is the introduction for Fido.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters to keep up with.
There's a lot of characters.
If you couldn't tell. So it's kind of we're just kind of plugging the events in, and characters will come and go, and it's definitely something where you have to watch it to kind of keep up with the characters we're trying to explain. So forgive us if this isn't like exactly perfect.
It makes for a very interesting watch as well, right? Because it is like they state as well. It is one of those things where it's like, depending on who you pay more attention to, the more sort of like different things are going to play out a little bit. Because it's like everybody, like again, the way this guy tells stories, right? Same with Durarara. It's like there is like an overarching sort of event or a story to be told, but it is all told through like interjecting storylines of different people doing different things that just sort of melts together eventually.
Yeah. I mean, the way I was drawn to watching it was I liked how the one part of an episode was focused on, say, Jacuzzi, or another would focus on I think it's Isaac and Maria, the wacky duo.
Yeah. Media. Isaac.
They are something else.
You want to talk about a couple that's very in sync with each other.
I mean, more like they're just aping each other, but yeah. I love that. It's like that. I love how it's like always just Isaac says something and then Media just repeats the last thing he said.
Like, agreed. Anyways,
that's not very nice. Not very nice.
No. They both wag their fingers in sync. Yeah. Good group, good duo. I like them. What will we do? We will do what we always do: rob from the rob the mafia. Okay. Anyways, so yeah. Speaking of Isaac and Maria, they somehow get the bottles of wine. I'm gonna skip a bunch here because there's a lot of events in between the wine going from one place to another. Mafia groups are killing each other. Blah blah blah. A couple of guys are given the half perfected bottle of, or a half perfected immortality thing. So that happens, and we'll cut to where I guess Isaac and Maria are at a party of a mafia group. Is it the Genoa group with Firo and those guys? Is that right?
Gondor.
No? Right?
Gondor,
Yeah. So they're having a party, and Isaac and Maria just bust out the perfected bottle of elixir. Let's share the wine. Let's go. Woo! Everyone's like, yeah, cheers. So you have this entire mafia group that just drinks the perfected bottle just on a whim, because no one knows actually what it is. They just think it's wine.
Yeah. Same shit as well. That's going down as well with the fucking initiation process for Fido as well. So it's
right.
That dude fucking he fires off the celebratory pistol shot and he shoots the roof. And in the scene where you see that, you just hear Media screaming, Isaac, no, he's dead. And they keep coming back to that over and over again. And that is such a weird thing because you're like, but he's alive later on. And then at the end of the show, it's like, oh yeah, because they're immortal. Oh, that's why they're immortal now.
Yeah. So yeah, you got the entire group now immortal. You know this scene, something like this is going to happen, but not in the wackiness that it occurred, which makes sense in terms of the story and the characters. Of course that's how that happened. It's just oops. So you have Zillard get thwarted in his evil efforts all by Furo and his bros, which was funny.
Yeah, and being just when it's betrayed by Ennis, which is the homunculus.
Yeah, so
Also,
Zillard, smart scientist, he's able to make a homunculus. He apparently makes a bunch of these. Eventually, they all turn on him because they develop emotions of a human. Blah blah blah. That's a small part to it that she plays, but she befriends Isaac and Mira, ironically by, I guess, first running them over with a car by accident. This car looks familiar. Nah.
Have we seen you before? No.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I
love us. Can you help me by putting these gentlemen into my car? Sure, you saved our lives. We'll definitely help you. By the way, what are you doing with them? Oh, I'm returning them to the police. Ah, yeah, we're gonna have to go.
Yeah, it's like good citizen, but we're gonna have to go because the police kind of want us. And I guess from there, is there any?
Also the Dallas Junior becomes a incomplete immortal and is put in a barrel, cemented, and thrown on the bottom of the Hudson River.
I love that scene where it's just like, well, what are we going to do with him? He's immortal. We can't really do anything. It's like, yeah. Anyways, we're going to stuff you in this barrel. We're going to fill it with cement, and we're going to throw you down to the bottom of the Hudson River. Don't worry. Take these playing cards. You'll have a lot of free time. We can't exactly kill you, so you're just going to
pull you up after 50 years.
Yeah, they just perpetually have him drowning for eternity. That's it's a way to go.
That is quite the way to go. Except...
dun, dun, dun. 1930. The year is 1932. Everyone's trying to commit suicide because of the Great Depression. Except in this show, everyone is happy, but like, there's no Great Depression at all.
No,
I was like, 1931 kicks off. That's when the Flying Pussyfoot everybody steps onto the Flying Pussyfoot, the transcontinental train, and then we have a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, in 1930s, after becoming immortal, media and Isaac just decide to go to California to dig gold.
Yeah, I mean,
just random,
man. The gold rush, man. It's like
gold rush.
Yeah, they're a little late on the gold rush.
That's why they don't find anything, JD. Listen, I love Miri and Isaac, all right? But, like, we're clearly part of their characters that they're not too bright.
No, they're idiots. They're absolute morons.
They are actually, I mean, I love that description of them, though, where it's just like, so anyways, these guys are criminals, right? Yep. But for some reason, they just seem to spread happiness wherever they go.
Yeah. Why can't we capture them? Well, it's because they are always dressing up and stealing weird shit.
People think they're filming a movie or something.
Because they're so absurd, yeah.
It's just people in the streets. I like that the idea of just normal citizens in 1930s carrying cameras around. It's like, what do you mean they just took a picture of them on the street? That's not possible in 1930. No one had a fucking camera. Can you imagine? Someone was just carrying the humongous fucking 1930s plate.
You're right.
Camera around, and it's like, oh my god, I'm just gonna take a snapshot of those guys. That's not how it works in the 1930s.
Listen, man, you don't understand.
In the same pose for
you don't understand, Hickey. They had prepared for years to take this photo, and then they just happened to get them. But yeah, 1931. That's when everybody says foot up, or the Flying Pussyfoot.
Not everyone. I guess half.
Not everyone. A bunch of people.
Half of the original cast, and
half of the original cast. We get even half. People like
it's a whole new cast except Media and
Isaac are there. We also see. We also get more where we get introduced to another dude, Lad Russo, for example, and his gang, the white suits,
the Lumineers.
Yeah, Lumiere
which
gangs,
is
the black suits.
the followers of
Laforêt,
Kiwi.
Huey Laforêt,
Huey,
who is currently in jail, trying to figure out what the fuck to do with that guy. And yeah, Jacuzzi Splot gets introduced, the guy who makes booze, the crybaby,
Yeah.
and his girlfriend, the bomb maker.
The bomb maker with the distinguishable characters as the giant guy,
Yep.
the guy with the always shut-in eyes, the Chinese man.
Right.
Chinese, yep. And of course, let's not forget, Claire Stanfield himself.
Claire Stanfield. That name's so good. Stanfield.
Claire Stanfield.
The absolute unhinged, weird ass motherfucker.
I mean, he's not alone. We had Lad Russo there as well. He's not exactly any less unhinged.
I know, but Stanfield likes to paint the ceiling with blood.
I love that when they go into the room. It's just like
didn't do that.
when they're just like, dude, this guy is so like, who killed this guy? The niece just looks up and be like, how the fuck is there that much blood on the ceiling? How did it get there? And then it's like, they go back and they talk about it, and it's just like, what is up with that dude fucking, with that assassin dude and his fucking, like, his messy way of killing people? It's just like, well, you see, he just wants to ensure that the job is done so that he doesn't have to come back and finish it later. It's like, I mean, sure.
When you make literal mincemeat out of somebody, yeah, they're definitely dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's very obsessed with running dudes' faces in the railroad tracks on a moving train. He really liked that, and their arms.
Yep. Yeah, and he can do that because, well, their reasoning is just because he was when he was young, he fled to the circus.
Sure.
And he was a trapeze artist, so that's why he's so strong and so agile, and why it of course makes sense that he could just hang off the back of a train with nothing but his feet attached and still have enough strength in his body to keep himself and someone else above ground.
or jump out of the train.
Your ticket, please.
And go back.
Yeah, man. He's a circus artist.
Yeah.
But he's really devoted to being a train conductor.
Which is like the Daily Mail? Is that the name of the
Daily Days? That's the newspaper. The Daily Days.
Yeah, whom are also information brokers. So they sell like the mafia and various people information on others.
Yep.
And
a lot
I
of
guess
the story from the Pussyfoot is being told by them. Like
right.
They're trying to gather information of what the fuck just happened there. And why half of the passages are just found on laying on the tracks on a deplorable state.
But not dead.
So there's, let's see. So there's the rail. Yeah, there's him, aka the Rail Tracer. There's
Rail Tracer.
There's Russo, who's there. That he just wants to cause chaos, right?
Lad Russo is a fucking maniac murder machine who just wants to kill people. But not just any people. He loves to kill people who believe that there is no way in hell that they are going to die. That's his fucking thing. He loves it. People that are so sure of himself. People that don't see it coming. People that think they're safe. One of the reasons why he really gets into when he fights the black suits, because he is just like, you and your fancy guns. You think you're so cool. You think you're gonna live. But don't worry, I won't hurt you. I'm not gonna do anything because I'm unarmed.
Yeah. And he's way into the I guess it's the politician's wife's bodyguards and killing them because they're like a higher standard that think they're above everyone, and that gets them off. So speaking of the
that's the Lemur gang. That's the other terrorist, the one that tries to kidnap her. I think it's just because it's so funny, that whole scene when he just walks up to dude and it's like nobody's shooting because he's not armed, and he's just like, don't worry. I'd be worried because he's so fucking calm about being put at gunpoint, but they just allow him to walk up and he just kicks the fucking Tommy gun on the dude, so he fucking faces the other way. He just squeezes the trigger and fucking puts the dude behind him, bunch of fucking bullet holes in the dude behind him, be like, Yeah. Anyways.
And then you go to the boxing scene.
Yeah, just
Like, do you know any boxing?
Do you know any boxers? Do you even know any of these boxers? Any full-blood American would be ashamed to not know them. And then the dude is just laying on the ground, beaten up, and he's just like, you will never get out of here alive. And he's just like, and that just fucking makes him snap. Just breaks his fucking face completely. Breaks his skull.
So let's see. There's the information broker representative. There's the politician's wife. There's people that want to kidnap her and ransom to try to get Huet out of jail. He's a French immortal.
Mm-hmm.
You got his daughter, who's an assassin as well. That's part of the group. Rail Tracer falls in love with her inexplicably.
Hey man, why not?
Why not?
He says it himself. He's fallen in love plenty of times before. Just a little bit different this time.
A little different. You got the Splot group hired by somebody. No, they're just there
for. Yeah, they're there for the explosives, I think.
Right. They're there to go to New York to sell the explosives.
Yeah.
And make more booze or whatever. They're just kind of wrong place, wrong time situation, that group.
Yep.
Then you
Which
have...
it's very apparent with the one dude who goes in to fucking take care of the passengers when he just walks in. Everybody walks in to take everyone in the passenger train fucking passenger cart hostage. And then you have the fucking white suits and the black suits coming in with guns, and he just opens the door and be like, everyone freeze with a knife in his hand. He's like, oops. Sorry, my bad.
And then you have the immortal who looks like a child. What's it? Ches? I think that's his... Cheslaw Meyer.
Cheslaw Meyer, yeah.
Yeah, he's there because he wants to go to New York to meet the other immortals to possibly end his own life, or he's scared of it. I can't remember.
He wants to kill them before they kill him. He is deathly afraid.
Yeah, he's
deathly afraid of dying. Essentially, like considering the fact that he was taken in by that. What was his name? The other dude from the 1711 just kept him to like as a test subject for testing like the limits of immortality and just
that was only an
him.
excuse. He got off on torturing the poor kid.
Yeah, of course he did. But like that's why Cheslaw is so afraid of other immortals.
Yeah, you got the feeling that he was stuck there for like 100 years, just getting tortured.
Oh yeah, he was definitely there for a long time.
He suffered a while.
Yep.
And the events on the train, there's just so much to break down, but it's like nonsense. Rail Tracer's killing people, Russo's killing people, the assassins trying to get the political people back, so she's fighting others. People are randomly meeting each other and leaving. You got Isaac and Miria just like screaming and going all over the place.
People inside of the
really
train,
good fight
outside
scenes
of the
left
train.
and right. Yeah, really,
outside, everything.
Really good fight scenes left and right. Wacky dialogue, constant interactions.
Just trying to steal the train, and every single time they just get ran over by people with guns.
Yeah,
like, right?
Yeah.
Things are happening all over the place.
Explosions.
They all finally like get to New York in various ways. Russo like loses half his arm, and we kind of don't really see him anymore after that.
Yeah, he gets arrested.
Yeah,
something about killing like a lot.
Yeah,
and being involved with the mafia. It's like it's kind of prime for the police.
Yeah, you get the feeling that if the show continues, Russo's going to escape and cause more mayhem.
You think so?
Yeah, I sure get that feeling.
Yeah, he wants to try and kill Huey.
He does want to kill Huey.
Right, that's kind of one of the goals.
Because of Shane. One of the coolest fights that is La Fraise Shane with the rail tracer and Lad on top of the train, and you have the absolute absolute most sociopathic speech in the whole anime media. That is Vino going around on why he doesn't die.
Yep.
It's like this dude covered in blood. It's
I'll
like
never die. You see, this world, this is my world. I create. You are all just byproducts of my
figments
world.
of my imagination.
Everything is going on in my brain. That's why if I die, I will not die. You all will die. I will still be here because this world can't exist without me.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely insane, and it's like he's talking to fucking Lad Russo that is not interested at all. The only thing he
just wants to kill him.
Yeah, the only thing he heard was, "Oh, you don't think you're gonna die? Okay."
Yeah.
For some reason, Lad Russo carries a pump action rifle. By the way,
Yeah, I know. It's kind of
which is kind of weird.
I mean,
I thought it was a shotgun, but then you get to the OVA and he fires a shot, and the dude just grabs the bullet with the wrench. And I was like, wait a second, that's not a shotgun. That's not even a buckshot shotgun. It's a fucking rifle. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird.
Pump action rifle. I want that in a video game.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things that happen. The same things like with the Shane fight, the Shane Lafayette fight as well. It's just like that whole thing with like Lad and Shane as well. It's just like they're on the roof, they're fighting, and then for a second, Lad just skips away to fucking snuff out one of the other black suits that's there with Shane just to get some information. Comes back with him and be like, anyways, this dude told me all about your father, about Huey and how he's an immortal, didn't ya? And he's just dead, and he just smashes his head on the fucking tray, like pretends like he's talking. Like, yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, motherfucker went away from a fight to kill a dude and came back.
Yeah. So, I guess, so we're all back in New York, and then everything just kind of comes together nicely. You do get the feeling there's a lot more story, and they just kind of ran out of instances, or something weird. There's definitely something weird about the ending, and then going into the OVA, where, to me, it like...
I mean, it's not over yet, that's the thing.
No, it's
Baccano
clearly not.
Going. Baccano kept going. It's still going, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I might have to, like, check out the manga of like what happens in events, but
the light novel.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
The manga's over, but it's a light novel.
Okay. Let's see. Back in New York, we get a lot of answers to a lot of the questions, at least in terms of events coming together. So I get it, like when you start lining up linearly, it's pretty quick how everything unfolds. Yeah. The let's see, Firo and that mafia group, they all find out they're immortal. They're just like, hey, that's pretty cool, right? Well, I guess that would be before the train.
That is before, yeah. Well, that is before.
That was before the train, but then we're back. Yeah, but then we're back in New York, and everyone's together. I'm trying to put this together in my head now.
Right.
Yeah. Isaac and Mira have gone their separate ways at this point.
A lot of 1932 that I'm looking at here, sort of looking at the summary, it's like a lot of that is when the summary sort of happens, kind of summing up what we've been seeing so far.
Yeah.
Because that's when like you have, for example, right? Let's see. Yeah, Firo and Ennis, obviously, they got together. Stuff like that. Yeah, and Claire, of course, tries to find Shane to marry her.
Right, in which she's hanging out with the Splot group and can't figure it out. Isaac and Miria go their separate ways. Ches is happy that the Immortals actually don't want to kill him, at least the ones that survived the Zillard kind of offensive. So he lives with the original guy with the information from the devil summoning. What's his name?
Miser.
Yeah. So they go their separate.
1932
yeah, everyone kind of
Yves Genoir trying to find Dallas, which is sitting on the bottom of.
Yeah, trying to get her back. They're trying to get him back, which is what they do. And then
So you really
he's not there.
Yeah. So you really get your answer of, oh, these were just events of coincidence of everyone's goals coming together on the Flying Pussyfoot. So then once
everyone just happened to be there and then ran into each other and chaos ensued.
Yeah, and when they ran into each other, they're like, oh, there's even a line where it's the guy who's like, I just want to see people smile, and he comes across the French woman. He's like, we haven't seen each other in 200 years. That's our conversation? Okay, see ya.
Sylvie.
Yep.
Sylvie, yeah, and that's it. Like, that was the event.
You
They
looked like
all
a nerd before.
Yeah, they all just
Now you're cute.
stack dominoes at a party, and they knock them all over, and see ya. Like, that was it.
That was pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, it's obviously a lot of the anime spends this time just sort of summing up what you've been witnessing so far and then, because this is non-linear, right? A lot of the ending as well is just going back and giving us those details that we talked about already at the end, right? So where everything sort of comes back and then it gets summed up. 1932 is just most like the events at the Flying Pussyfoot is just over, and we're not yet starting anew. Some new mysteries shows up, like I said, the what's his name? Jesus Christ.
Who, the dude with the wrench or somebody?
No, Jesus Christ, I'm struggling so hard with names.
Well, there's a million characters.
I know. That's why. Yeah, Dallas
I'm having trouble
right?
coming up with remembering the main characters' names.
Dallas Genward, right? Dallas Genward, because he gets lifted up again from the Hudson River, but he's not there anymore somehow. And stuff like that. So it's like you get the sum ups, you get the sort of hints at new mystery that's going to happen, and then we get back to the original character. So it's just like, understandable why you would think that does sound like it could be a story, but that's not the whole story. The story doesn't end. There is no ending to stories. Stories should never end. Stories have no beginning and no end.
We get them again. Yeah.
Yep, that whole thing.
It's very weird. So have you guys read the light novel or continued the story?
No, I haven't, but I will.
Me neither. So I guess that's fun then. We can kind of speculate over. To me, it's kind of looks like we're still going to have our group, but it's going to focus on the two areas of the mafia, like mostly about like Furo and his group against the Genoa group in mafia warfare, and that'll kind of and Huet is going to escape prison kind of deal, and we're going to get another situation of maybe people being hired and coming on a train again. Like that's what I got the feeling of.
Maybe I don't necessarily think that Huey is going to escape prison. I think one of the things that's going to happen. Prison? Maybe he doesn't seem that worried about getting out of prison. One of the things that they talked about was the potential when the lad was asking the police about Huey and what they would do if they knew anything about him, and then it was like, nah, his transfer hasn't been decided yet.
Okay.
But they were thinking about the idea that he was probably going to end up at Alcatraz. So I can definitely see that being a thing.
Oh, Alcatraz and like Russo gets to Alcatraz and like shit goes down in the prison.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
So there's still a lot of stuff. Obviously, finding out what happened to
and it all Dallas. Happens in like the 50s or something.
Maybe.
Like obviously the characters, most of them can't age, but some of them can, and then they'd be 20 years older and kind of grizzled. That'd be kind of cool.
And Miriam and Isaac still just being happy or go lucky going around, yeah.
I could totally see them like getting arrested, sent to Alcatraz, and then they're like rambunctious and fucking around at Alcatraz.
That also reminded me, because I forgot about that. That's also something that happens at the end of the series when we just fast forward to like
2001,
to like the 60s.
2000s.
Yeah, 2000s. I think it's just like fucking Miriam and Isaac is just going around there dressed like fucking hippies, trying to save people from
because they don't have a concept of time and they don't realize that they're not aging.
I just love that they were like, yep, now we're just going back into that they're idiots. So now, in a more modern lens, they are going to look like they are batshit fucking insane. They are saving people from cell phones.
Yeah. The guy on the television said it's bad for the kid's brain.
Yeah.
But it's
I just had such a fucking...
the bag has a has a hole in it, so the cell phones are just falling, and people just picking up the phones. It's like, man, the comedians, right? It's like,
I just got such a kick out of it because it just fucking reminds me of the fact like this shit never changes. It just got me fucking flashback to the whole 5G thing and COVID. It's just like, yep, this shit. Is that Miriam and Isa going around?
Man. All right. So that's Baccano. Beautiful looking show. Great fucking music. One of the best OPs of all time.
Oh my god, the music, the jazz music, the fucking that little king thing that kicks in every time. The fucking insert song as well that kicks in every time there's like an action scene. And ding 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 ding. I love that thing. It's so fun to listen to.
Yeah, a coin flips and you're just immediately into it. Yeah, next episode. I had the OP play every time.
I didn't. I've heard it so many times at this point that it's like I don't need to hear it every time, every episode, but I'm still going to listen to it.
Yeah,
I love that fucking opening. It's so good.
Let's see. So the OVA was kind of like 2 down for me. Especially that first one where I didn't quite understand what was happening. I was like,
when you just get straight into the fucking.
Yeah, I was very lost for a good chunk of it, and sort of came together, but sort of didn't. But
I think it's just mostly, like I said, clearing up the whole the thing with 1711, because like the 1711 part of the first 13 episodes is very short.
It's short and brief. You're missing a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like you don't really like get back to it, and it's like the OVA at the end is kind of just like, all right, it's like. This guy's that guy, that guy's this guy, this guy's that guy. This guy is around still. You won't remember much of him because he hasn't really been that important here, but he's a dude. That guy, her, him, the devil, remember him? No, we didn't see him. Well, there
don't worry about this. Yeah, clearly the devil's like motivation to all this is like, okay, he wants them to like pick each other off one by one.
I mean, yes. Of course it is. It's literally like, I'm not taking anything from you, except for giving you the ability to kill each other.
Yeah, except that part.
I'm sure everything's going to work.
I'm sure you'll all be adults about this.
I'm sure you'll all be. I love how fucking it is, especially when that all happens. Like, Siller didn't waste any fucking time. He is just like, I want to know. I want info. I want to learn things. I have the ability to just take people's info from them and kill them at the same time. Hell yeah. Come here. Let me devour your ass.
Yeah, he even moves like a fucking spider on all fours.
I love it. Was like, it's just like, I just wanted to know about the elixir. And it's like, yeah, because that's why you just went around and fucking devoured like everyone else first, because you wanted the elixir. Of course.
No, yeah. He wanted to feed. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, he wants knowledge. He wants to know stuff. He's a scientist after all. Yeah, he describes himself as a scientist. He's like, I just want to fucking know shit. Everything. All information.
So, show holds up.
It does.
I went 9 out of 10 on this.
It's almost like it came out in 2007.
Yeah, much more recent than anything from the 80s.
The one thing that I will knock it for a little bit is the character art thing, because, like, man, when that shit gets rough, it gets really rough.
Well, it's not great all the time, but
nope, it isn't.
But yeah, I went 9 out of 10 on the show. It's so good.
9 out of 10. Yeah, I also gave it 9 out of 10. I think I gave this 9 out of 10, and then I gave the OVA like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I went 7 on the OVA.
Yeah. Overall, I'll still give it like a 9 out of 10.
Overall, it's still a 9.
It's such a good one. And yeah, just like kind of getting back to it and learning that the novels are still ongoing and shit like that. I'm just instantly like, hell yeah, I'm getting back to I do want to read the novels at some point.
Definitely, I gotta know what's happening. You know what? Let's see what Right Stuff has. Is it on? Do you know if the light novels are on Right Stuff or anything?
I don't know. I
don't know if it's licensed at all.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, there is an English version, or was an English version.
Right Stuff.
Baccano. Oh shit! I can definitely get it from my local manga store. That's good. At least part of it.
My computer's being slow here. Big shock. Let's see. There's the manga. Go away, advertisements. Jesus. Let's see. Baccano novel, volume 1920. Oh my god, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's like 22 or 23 volumes.
They are on Right Stuff, though. They are certainly there.
Nice.
$16 a pop.
That's a lot of pops.
That's a lot of
that
pops. Okay. I guess I'll just have to find out where like the OVA ends and where the light novels kind of line up with it and go from there.
I don't think the manga goes that far into the. Let's see.
I'm only seeing 3 volumes of the manga.
Yeah,
on Right Stuff.
light novel. 3 novels. 4th novel. Yeah, it looked like 4 novels. That's the first 4 novels. Yep. So everything after that is new.
Manga iterations?
There's a manga version of it as well, but that's not the...
Pre-order Baccano novel volume 21. They're all hardcover, too. Wild. The casino party is finally underway. Okay. There's a casino involved. Maybe they go to Vegas.
Well, I mean, why not? Gotta see Miriam Isa try their luck.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, I'll look into that in the future. I'm definitely interested in continuing the series, and I don't know with the anime's trend today. Who knows? Maybe Baccano will return.
Like, imagine they just go back and be like, anyways, Baccano season 2, whatever. Huh?
Let's go.
Out of nowhere. Well, I mean, it's kind of in theme, right?
It is. Right now, I wouldn't put it past them. Like, I find it hard to believe that they would do it, but at the same time, why not?
Dude, they're finishing Bleach after like 15 years.
I know. I mean, like, Baccano's... I'm just saying, get on it. It's like, It's not like you don't have enough content. First series only adopted 4 novels, so...
Yeah. And speaking of Bleach, that is our next episode, the sneak entry arc. Sneaky.
The sneaky. Bleach, the sneaky.
Arc 2, the sneaky.
They sneaky, goddamn.
Yeah. Bleach, the sneak entry arc, episodes 21 through 41 is what we're watching.
From immortals to more immortals. Except the immortals in this case can be cut by swords.
By wacky swords, yeah.
And they bleed.
And that was Baccano. Hickey, what did you give Baccano?
Yeah, 9.
Okay, wow, we're all 9s. That's got to be one of our highest rated shows of all time.
If you just hang on up to episode 4 and you understand that it is non-linear and is probably one of the worst non-linear anime out there, it's still very good.
Oh,
the story absolutely carries it. Everything absolutely carries it.
The action
non-linear thing is really, really bad. It is. It is 2006 Suzumiya Haruhi level of bad.
I don't know about that. Like the thing for me though with this is just like it is definitely not. But like the thing is for the thing that is the problem for me with the way they do non-linear, especially in the anime here, is the fact that like for sometimes they kind of let you know when shit is skipping around. Like they let you know when it's like year changing, right? It's like 1931, 1930, 1932, back and forth like that. Like 1711. They let you know that shit. But sometimes it's just like kind of mid-scene.
They just change. It's like 1 second and the arrow goes back to seconds. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Walking up and fucking to slice someone, and then they cut to a completely different story in the same timeline, but it's just a hard cut, and you're just like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened?
Where's the flying pussy thing?
The
flying pussy thing. Well, you know.
Yeah, but I say that it's absolutely great.
Yep.
It take a while to understand all the fronts of the story, but just focus on Isaac and Media, how they address, and you understand what is going on.
If you watch like 6 episodes and get out and said, I didn't understand anything, then I'm just going to say, yeah, no, you didn't. Of course you didn't. You only got fragments.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for this episode. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.